My name is Marcus Hedall. I teach the GMAT. I've been teaching at Manhattan Prep since 2007, and I'm in Washington, D.C. I love teaching because I love figuring out complex problems and how to make them simpler and connecting with students to help them see and understand those things. Mathematics and language are two of the ways that we make sense of a complex world. So I'm a philosopher. I like teaching and reading philosophy, which is another kind of place where we get really complex ideas. I write philosophy, which forces me to think hard about the world. I am also a gargantuan fan of roller derby. I will talk at length about the search for good pie. The best pie I found in the United States is in Sitka, Alaska. I highly recommend the pie there. I like trying to make an environment that's really kind of open and where we talk about things other than just the GMAT, where I get to know my students and find out what matters to them and how they learn best. And one in which we're all involved in trying to kind of solve these puzzles to make each other better and to get ourselves as individuals better as well. On test day, you should turn off all distractions an hour before the test. So you should get off social media, you should get off email, and you should get off the news. So I had a student that I've been preparing for a long while with, and he was on Instagram, and right before they called his name, he saw the post of his most recent ex who was announcing her engagement. And so even though he had practice test scores in the mid 700s, he did not do well that day. But this ties to another lesson I always tell my students, and that is only good things can happen when you go to take the GMAT, because schools only care about your best score. So he went back a month later and got a 750 and got into Stanford and met his now wife there, and everything worked out well in the end. The GMAT problem is like an IKEA furniture set. If you put together an IKEA furniture set and you have two screws left in your hand, you have made some serious mistake, because those things belong in the set. They do not give you extra screws. And so GMAT problems are a lot like that. They give you exactly what you need and no more and no less. And so whenever you get stuck, I always tell people, look for the information that you haven't used, right? Or if there's a piece of information you haven't used, you ought to at least check that that doesn't belong in your bookshelf. So for some people, I think that it's useful because it provides a certain structure. Whereas otherwise you might think, oh, what difference does 2 days make? And then what difference does 4 days make? And then et cetera, et cetera. For others, it can be a benefit of a community that's doing this together. And I think for others, it can be just the insight of someone who's been thinking about these problems for a long time. And that allows you to see the problem differently, I think, in some ways, and to see the test differently.